The Podical sound.
Podcast, you can't win. Talking a good game, you can't win. Topics never lame, you can't win. Win.
Watch your average Joseph. Marvelous.
It's ridiculously funny.
Welcome back to the best no judgment zone space in the world, because neither one of us have any law degrees. That's going to be our older one.
That's gonna be it.
So we're going to put that one to bed, folks. I am still marvelous. He is still not your average Joseph.
Your average Joseph. We're putting that one to bed.
No, 200, man. 200 episodes. You got to come a little different with the flair.
Okay.
Keep it a little simple, okay. Kiss. Keep it simple, stupid.
All right. Okay.
You going to miss it?
Well, I mean, there's the old episodes that I can go back to reminisce about. So
I played the first episode the other day.
You played the first episode?
The fully. From one, I was like, if I'm going to record 200,
right.
I'm going to listen to one. Where it all began, humble beginnings.
Okay.
And I played that and I ran that. And I was like, yo, we are still the Podical Sons.
Still the Podical Sons.
From a weekly podcast to go from episode 1 to 200. 200.
I mean, and if you count all the other episodes
and in betweens and the hollers and everything, we're grinding.
That is quite amazing.
It's a feat. It's itself.
Yeah.
Folks,
just the setup. Just think about that. If you think about even just the setup. Again, a laptop and two snowball mics, and just all the background noise. If you all want to know humble beginnings, listen to the quality of this episode now, and then go back and listen to which was the Crying Baby episode.
That's episode 2, Black Superheroes.
Go back and listen to Black Superheroes.
Yeah, man.
One of my favorite episodes, mind you.
Black Superheroes?
Black Superheroes. Go back and listen to Black Superheroes, and then just listen, and you'll know what we're talking about when we say there's we did a lot. We did a lot as far as putting the show together and getting segments together, and just the overall look. When we first started, there was no video. Now we have video and. We have proper audio, so it's all good. It's a blessing.
But even shit, I think one of my favorite things and stuff from looking like humble beginnings and stuff to like now was not only the laptop, but like remember the cushions to section off so nobody's sound will reverberate off each other. You remember the cushions?
The cushions, and you know what the funny thing is? The funny thing is
you trashed the cushions.
Not only did
you're a piece of shit.
Listen,
I wanted the cushions. I would have kept that for memory.
The cushions were. I do believe the cushions were trash, but not only that. Just the thought of just saying, okay, hey, I think there's a way we can kill some of these reverbs.
MacGyver that shit.
We're like, what? Yeah, maybe if we put like these cushions together and like kind of like make like a
wall.
We
were building walls before Donald Trump.
The funny thing is, Marv, and I don't know, maybe I'm tooting my own horn, and maybe I actually got the concept from it, but now they actually make microphone booths. The squares, just
just kind of stick your head in.
You kind of stick your head in, but the same concept with the pillows, and it worked.
It worked.
So
it worked because I want to say for the. Let me say this. I think. From the folks that, salute to especially the diehard supporters from episode 1 till now. We appreciate you guys and stuff definitely the most. Not like we don't appreciate the new folks, even if you come on for just this episode and everything like that. We still appreciate you, but those ones, I'm pretty sure they can tell the audio quality and different stuff between them. Because I want to say, me personally, going into everything, coming into the podcast world.
Right.
And I was just looking, as long as I can hear everybody's words, that's all that really mattered and stuff like that. But then when you kind of put me onto like tones and like the reverbs and all that extra stuff.
Yeah.
I was like, whoa. And then to hear like the final production and stuff, and I'm like, oh, this is not a drill.
Right.
But I think people who were not in the podcasting world, that's why they think it's so easy to do, because they think they just have to have that final line.
Yes.
It's like they think it's a straight beeline and stuff, whatever, to just boom and get there and stuff. They not the edits. Somebody's mic might be louder than another person and stuff like that. Because remember, you're catching everything's like, one take, and it's kind of like authentic laughter and all that type of stuff. And those things might be louder, and you have to go in and
for the audience, that's one thing you gotta understand. It's like these things, although you may not think of it, but they're so important, because in the world of podcasting, where not necessarily when we started doing it, not necessarily a relevantly new thing, but still for people coming on board, it was still something to get used to. So there was an era of familiarity they had to get with, right? So what do you know that's similar to podcasting? Well, radio. So people are used to a certain standard with radio, right? So if you're mimicking something like that, anything less than that quality, it will kind of sound off, let's say, and not be pleasing and sound off to the point where you might be interested in what the person is saying, but just how it's coming off to you doesn't agree with your ear or anything like that. So that was one of the things I wanted to make sure that we have as far as our podcast, is that you're going to not only listen to what we have to say, but you're going to enjoy listening to it, because again, it's not like the words or the audio is muddy, where it's the reverb is so thick in the room that you can hardly hear what words are being said. It's not legible. It's like the experience in hearing, with all the mistakes, because we don't edit, we don't take anything out. We chop the beginning, we chop the end, we put the tags where they're supposed to go, and that's it. We let it run. But otherwise, in that it's pure audio you're getting. So because it's pure audio that you're getting, we want it to be the best call that we could possibly have.
Well, not only the audio, focus on even the video,
the video world
too, right?
Even the video, but
the video, I'm going to say the video experience stuff has been major and stuff too. A lot of ways how even newer podcasts are digested and stuff. Yeah, with video and stuff as well too, right? Yeah. So we found a way to put ourselves into that world and that realm, right? To participate, right, and compete with the other sharks. And we've been snacking till we like young jaws gangbanging out here. We've been gangbanging since we were goldfishes.
Yeah. Just getting down the basics and locking in on what we really enjoy doing, and like you say, come up with the formula and just sticking with the formula.
If it ain't broken, don't fix it, toots.
That's it. The food is cooking good. People taste the food, they like the food, and they come back for more.
Well said. Yes, man. We have a website, came from it. Merch.
Right.
Grateful for the merch, the website. Supporters.
I was gonna say, and the guests who have have come on in the first
199 episodes, and then more to come. More to come in the future. So say the Sons.
So say the Sons.
So say the Sons has its own kind of world. Yeah. It developed its own kind of world. Like, So say the Sons has its own Instagram and Facebook. It's on Instagram. So I think it's both.
I think it might have.
Yeah, both. It's attached to both.
I think it might have both.
And the social media platforms and stuff as is, the quiz, like the polls. Yeah. We're grateful for everybody and stuff that participated in those polls. If not, you're missing out on some fun shit, because I know when you vote and then you see other people, you're like, who the fuck votes for that side? And then people getting their feelings.
Right, yeah.
People getting their feelings, and then when they come back for more and yell, like, we don't control the votes.
We don't control the votes.
This is not U.S. and Russia. Sorry.
Sorry. I'm sorry.
But we're grateful, man. I'm grateful. Let's pop a little something, man.
You pop a little something?
Pop a little something, man. Pop a little something, you know? I got you, man. Fall back, man.
Let me...
Popping bottles in the studio. What are we, rappers? Like a young boy now. Ready for this? Look at that.
Oh,
look at that.
Shooking now.
Smooth, man. Your glass, kind sir.
If you don't mind, please.
Can I get a little tilt? There you go.
A little tilt. A little tilt.
Look at you, man. Look at
this,
you
man.
Bottle service on your podcast.
Look at this. Bruh. This is
bottle service on your podcast.
bubbles. They move nicely, the bubbles.
Cheers, man.
Cheers.
200 miles and running. Still running.
200 still running.
Oh, I like this.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Feel a little frisky now. Look at your punk ass.
So is this how we doing the show? Wait, do I have to hold goblet style? Is this how we doing? This is how we doing the show?
You do you.
All right.
You ain't gotta do it.
So what do we got?
What do we got? Let's hit with the polls. Traditional.
We'll start traditionally with the polls.
Traditionally with the polls. Is there a hierarchy to your friendships? And yes, actually won by 79%. So is there a hierarchy to your friendships?
No. Still no.
Talk to me. You're still on the no.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like I agree 100% with you. I see where the people will stuff lean and lie because some people will still have some, I think it comes with like time.
Right.
And maturity.
Yeah.
I look at the stuff where you should have people you're willing to ride or die for, but not everybody.
Right.
And with that being said, if they're not people you would ride and die for, why are you wasting your time with them?
No.
We don't have that much time to waste.
No.
You know what I'm saying? So I look at that. I see the 79% one for yes. So kudos to you, yes people. Next one is, do taller men get away with more? How do you feel about that, kind sir? Well,
I'll say yes.
You say yes?
Yeah.
I say yes, because I'm one of the leaders of Mighty Midget Mafia.
Right. And you bring many disputes to the table.
You're damn right I was. Don't get me started. Let the champagne hit the system a little more.
Drink some champagne.
Yo, I think, so 56% said, hell no, they don't get away with more. Right? And I beg to differ because, hear me out. I even had a conversation and stuff with my girl. We had a conversation and we were talking about somebody and stuff that we know who's in a kind of a bad abusive relationship.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
And you know, I don't like soft women, so you know, gang, you know, I like them feisty and spicy.
Douglascious.
Yeah, you know, I like my women, you know, my food hot, right? Spicy.
Yeah.
She said, he don't weigh enough to be dealing with girl like that. He shouldn't
be throwing his weight around?
Yeah. She's like, he don't weigh.
Because he don't weigh
enough.
Right.
So I'm looking like, he slim thug? She's like, no, he little. And I was like, but if he was taller, though, it'd be okay.
Right.
I'm not saying physical, mental, and verbal abuse and all that type of stuff. There's no arena for it.
We're not saying there's arena for it. But there seems to be some sort of intimidation factor that doesn't come with.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
I feel like, okay, the other day we were in the chat. We were in our group chat and stuff like that. And I think somebody put up the poll about what the Bumble stats go. The Bumble stats about dating.
Right, yes.
So now I think there's a big ass difference between like 5'11".
Right.
And I think, was it 6 foot or 6'1"? I think I think like anything like 5'11" or 6'1", there's a big ass discrepancy and stuff between the two.
Right.
Right? With the amount. And less than that, you're shaking it rough.
Yeah.
My height, whatever, I'm sitting at about like 5'8", 5'7"-ish realm and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So I guess part of the reason why I never got that much success on the dating apps is because I'm a little dude. I didn't meet the height requirement for the Bumble and Nintendo ride. And it was so funny to me. And I was like, is it really, really that bad? I asked a friend. He has some height on him and stuff, right?
Right.
And he said when he was in the Tinders and the dating apps and stuff like that, the man says straight goods. He's like, name, and he'll put height. And once he puts height and stuff for there, he's like, I don't think they read the bio for the rest of it and everything. So he said one day he said he put no fat chicks. Like, say, like his bio, like, I do this, I do that, and the third, and blah, blah, blah. And he's put parentheses, no fat chicks.
Right.
And he still had...
Just to see, yeah.
And he still had fat chicks and stuff, whatever, coming in his DM or liking and matching and everything like that, whatever. Because he's like, I put no fat chick. But they're not reading the bio once they see 6 foot.
Yeah.
So once they see 6 foot, they're like, oh, he cute. Swipe right.
Meanwhile, she's like 5'2".
180 pounds. So the man's like, what the? He'll swipe and then he'll cuss them out. And I was like, damn.
So you think it's like, do they really want a taller man, or do you think it's the conditioning that makes them think that they want a taller man?
Well, I don't know. You had me questioning some shit with the whole dick enlargement thing last week. I feel like I'm not a woman,
right?
But I feel that protection kind of feel.
Yes.
Or feel like you're safe, you're secure, that kind of feel.
Yes.
Some people, they might be able to produce that in other ways and some whatever, right? Because I'm pretty sure like you have model-esque type woman who might be, let's say she's like 5'11", 6 foot, and she might be with a guy that might be like 5'5", 5'6", who has like bankrolls of money.
Right.
Because his money would make her feel secure. And he could probably buy the protection, you know what I'm saying?
That's needed.
Right.
Right.
So I feel like if they're looking at regulars, you'd be like, all right, we don't expect everybody to be multimillionaires or rich like that, whatever. But we need to make sure you're able to protect me if some shit pops off.
Well, that's why they don't understand that there's the mafia behind the mighty midget. That's the mafia intention. We got protection.
I like the way you think.
We got protection.
I like the way you think. Very true. So, but I feel like, tall dudes, in my opinion, they do get away with a lot more.
I think so.
Tristan Thompson.
He's a prime example.
Well, explains. I can't see. The whole Kardashian mindset. I can never really understand.
Right.
Because I feel like I'm losing brain cells watching those type of things.
Yeah. So
you have a dude. I'm trying to look at it from Chloe. You have a dude who's an NBA player. He goes from town to town. Now she's dated. She was married to Lamar Odom before, and so she's kind of used to that.
She knows
that feel, right? So she's willing to travel and go these places and above and beyond to be with her man.
Right.
If the man still finds time to do his fuckery, why stay? I don't know. So then you have baby with that guy.
Right.
And then now, because I think the Jordan Woods chick was Kylie's friend or some shit like that.
She was somebody's friend.
Somebody's friend.
Yeah. She was in the. She was there. She was at the house.
She was in the house. She was
at the house.
And now he did all of that, and you're still there.
Yeah.
And then now he got a new chick pregnant, and you're still there. I'm like, because he's tall. I think it's because he's tall. I feel like her money is bigger than his money.
Yes, it is. She was way bigger.
Her money is bigger than his money. So that's what I'm saying. He's tall.
That's what it is.
Change my mind. Change my mind.
But there's other tall NBA players that she can go after.
And would they want her? Okay. All right.
I mean, they may not want her at the beginning, but what a tangled web they weave. When they get you in that bit, bring you in.
Yeah, so I was like,
okay. So yeah, that's a consensus there. That I think that they get their way as well.
Yeah. We're there in the collective.
So we got to use our wits. We use our wits more, I think. If you ever notice, anytime you see an operation, it's always the short guy is the leader of the operation. Everybody else is like the brawn and muscles. Yeah, we use It's here.
Yeah, I mean, you have to.
It's here.
I think that people say compensation and stuff, whatever, for people and things. They make it seem like it's a bad thing. Right. English language or whatever. The negative connotation on it. I look at it where, okay, so you can't reach everything off the top shelf.
No.
Are you wise enough to say you're going to get you a ladder? Are you going to use your, ingenuity? When does ingenuity come into play?
Right.
Right? And I feel like ingenuity would be the compensation for the height because you still need to get from point A to point B.
Yes.
So you need to now use your brain. Where some people can just use the straight brawn to kind of take and do everything. If that works in your world, because I realize everybody lives in their own reality. And my reality, I don't have the height factor. However, my ingenuity is on point like an accurate rifle.
Right.
So I will make sure I get the job and the task done.
Yeah.
And some people, they're blessed with it. Like, oh, I'll be blessed because I'm tall.
Right.
And they ain't got to do shit.
Yeah.
So, I mean, hey.
And then you got the ones that are super beautiful that the person passing by it just stops and desires to help them regardless of what it may be.
And that's that. I think that's, your DNA blessed.
Yeah.
Your DNA blessed. There's some people, I have a friend, I feel like he's DNA blessed. Height, good looking dude, all the above, but the noggin.
Yeah.
The lights are on, no one's home.
There's a term in Jamaican called pretty dunce.
Oh, you're pretty and you're fucking pretty dunce as well. Yeah, you're damn right. That's what he is.
Yeah.
But he'll
dunce.
he'll say some shit to try to make him sound profound and stuff. I'm like, just smile.
Nah.
Smile and wave to the ladies and stuff, whatever.
Just don't speak.
Could you pass me that apparatus? Why don't you just say thing?
Yeah.
Why don't you just say thing? Why do you need to sound extra and bold? He's like, well, you don't want education. I was like, all right. I'm sorry. Who hurt you? There's still time for you.
So I put it out there that he knows at least one smart word before you start the conversation.
Yeah, true.
Mighty Major Mafia.
I want to ask you one quick thing before we go on. This is after the, next subject. Let's talk about this Brittney Griner shit.
Mm-hmm.
Is Brittney Griner worth a swap for a Russian arms dealer?
Let me think about this now.
Should I sip my tea? Shit, my champagne me? Folks, would you like the audio of what he's doing? As I narrate what he's doing, he took a long pull off a pen. And he's now done exhaling. The microphone is yours again, not your average.
Brittney, you know as well as I do that this ain't allowed where you're going. Now, they lock your ass up, because I'm pretty sure they lock up regular citizens.
Mm-hmm. Yes, sir.
Where they're at.
Yes, sir.
Right? What people don't understand here, or what people fail to understand here, is that she's over there now. And while she's over there now, she's subject to their rules, just like the people of that country. So there's no way a government can say, hey, because she's an American basketball star playing here, that we're not going to treat her like one of our citizens. And feel like the government is going to get away with that in their country. I'm like, yeah, of course they have to lock her up. And of course, if they're doing this to their regular citizens, now, of course, everybody's going to say there's a little political twist to it. There might be.
Yeah.
There might be. But if this is something that can happen to their regular citizens there, if I'm a regular citizen there, I'm going to be like, I don't give a shit who she is. If I can't get out of jail because of special privileges, because I play basketball, or there's anything about that for me, then you know what? She just going to have to rub the time that I would necessarily have to rub.
Agree.
Right?
100.
why do Americans feel like because she's American, she's God's gift to women, and she needs
LGBT. LGBT. The LGBT community.
Okay.
That I think that's my lane.
I no longer need this. I thought this was part of the argument. Let me put this back in my pocket.
Well, because like, I don't understand.
She got pulled over. She got pulled up for that. She
got pulled for the vape pen and cartridges. Right. But the thing is, stuff is that you're flying, and I'm looking at where Cat Williams. All right, Cat Williams wasn't even doing international flight. He was doing like. Domestic.
He's running around.
From one part in America to another part, and he traveled with a gun.
Right.
To an airport.
Right.
He said even the TSA dude looked at him like, nigga, are you serious? That's a real live gun.
Yeah.
Are you serious? I can't let you go through with this gun.
Yeah.
And he got locked up. And that's domestic. There's certain things you need to know what you can and cannot do. And I feel like she knew. And if she didn't know, if you don't know, now you know. Like,
yeah.
And yeah, so I don't pity her. I look at where the LGBT community and like the WNBA and those ones, like when they're saying free Brittney, that's why I never jumped up before when they used to say back in the day, like, you know, free Smooth, free this.
Right.
What does Smooth do?
Yeah.
Let's figure out what Smooth do. Oh, he only bodied like 3 people, but they try to put an extra murder on him. Yeah, but he still bodied 3 people though.
Yeah, yeah.
How are you gonna free him?
Was there a crime in there that was committed? Some way, somehow, some shape or form that he could be possibly locked up for.
Infantile, man. I tell you, time and time again, it's infantile. We treat people and stuff like adults, like they're children. They're not. Everybody's accountable for their own actions. I drive to and fro from here in America and stuff all the time to go home to Cleveland. I know it's legal. Weed is legal here, and certain parts of stuff are not legal there.
Understand where you are and what time it is, because let's for instance say that this is something that she's been doing for me before, right? And because it may have been turned a blind eye previously because of who you may be and whatever connections that you may have. Okay. You got to understand that you're still in a foreign country, you're still subjected to the rules, and you're still running the risk, regardless of whatever you think you can get away with. There's always that possibility. Even more so when there's tensions between the country that you're going to and the country that you're coming from. You got to know at the end of the day, you're still a U.S. citizen. So if they're not too fond of what's happening between their country and the U.S. country, you're just like anybody else. Like we see instances when shit goes down in a country. Americans run to the embassy and the America makes sure they fly their ass out because they don't want nobody taking no hostage or nothing like that. Right. Because they know what type of things. Okay.
Afghanistan. Look at last year with Afghanistan.
Okay. All right. So we know what kind of shit happens. So now, so Brittney's now locked up, right? So what's this now about this whole let's make a deal. This is me about this TV show move they got.
Well, I think the thing is they were saying she's a high profile American in Russia. So I'm pretty sure they have low profile Americans in Russia because, you know, the tourism situation before everything got kind of sticky.
Yeah.
And let's say like the people who might have been locked up and stuff prior.
Right.
They were too low profile and stuff, but they're trying to look for collateral. Russia's looking like, hey, you have an arms dealer of ours. We need to deal with said person.
Right.
But you guys won't let him go because you know he knows some things. You know, he's basically a modern day Lord of War.
Okay.
He's
the Nicolas Cage.
He's the Nicolas Cage. He's a basic modern day version of Lord of War. He has intel. He has sales that he done did. All the above.
Right.
The Russians don't like those type of secrets and stuff leaking out. This is like, all right, you want Brittney?
Yeah.
We'll give you your basketball star.
Yeah.
For our person.
Just send our dude back.
This guy's a terror. From what the information that I've seen and stuff and everything, the guy was
this guy's no good.
He's no good.
He's no good.
He's no good. He's better locked up somewhere. You know, he's kind of like an El Chapo.
Where we can keep tabs on him.
Right. It's kind of like El Chapo. Right. El Chapo and stuff like, you know, once they got his ass out of Mexico.
Yeah.
And they got his ass on the American side.
Yeah.
It's kind of hard to pinball him. You just know he's in maximum security in America. They can say he's in one location, but because his escape artist acts.
Right.
The dollars that has behind him, and the amount of people that's willing to die for him, his release, they have to pinball him. They have to move him around from place to place and stuff like that.
Right.
So it's the same thing.
Right.
So I look at where terrorists to the earth, possible terrorists to the earth.
Yeah.
How many times you watch a Brittney Griner game?
I know who she is. And I know, you know, what she's known for.
What team?
I couldn't tell you. I'm sorry, Brittney Griner. I'm apologizing.
That's why it's not worth it. That's why it's not the swap. The swap would never be worth it.
But no, I'll be 100% honest with you. If it was LeBron, I don't think it would be worth it. And this is from my perspective.
Talk about
this is from my perspective, right? Again, you know better, right?
Right.
And especially more so being LeBron, because at this point you got to know the type of stature that you carry as a profile, right? You got to understand, hey, that you're a chip. You're a bargaining chip for real, right?
Right.
So as much as wherever you're going might have mid, you're going to have to try and work out getting that mid when you land.
And I think that was my main thing. My thing and stuff is that, okay, if they treat you like this, I want to say, I don't even know, let's say the women's Russian basketball, like professional, that's coming from America to play in their season and everything like that.
Right.
I look at it where they're going to treat you a cut above the rest.
Yes.
So if that be the case, why don't you just put out the word like, look, I'm going to need some weed while I'm here.
Yeah.
And if you get the mid, again, you roll with the mid. Because you know when you go back home,
right,
you're good. You're going to get the quality shit.
And that's what I'm saying. Even if it's LeBron, you put yourself in that situation. Listen, I can't be risking having to trade Ivan the Terrible, you know what I mean, who might be the cause of the next 200 people being murked off in the next 6 months because you made some foolish attempt to bring across weed. Nah, man, you gonna have to hold that, bruv. I got people's lives to think about.
Yeah. Stay tuned. We'll see. Because I ain't giving that.
I'll be interested to see if they make these trades. And they might possibly well make these trades. Like we don't know. Like it's their world. US might have already gotten all they possibly can, gotten out of dude, and everything else would be almost be like it's either gonna be a way. We're either gonna have to kill you if we're gonna try and get anything else out of you, or
this is Sunday, August 7th, right?
Right.
So I'm gonna say, for all we know, everything could develop and change stuff come Tuesday. Come Tuesday of the release of this podcast, shit could probably change stuff for Brittney, because even her saying her statement and stuff pertain to her charges, because she got 9 years,
right, and
everything.
So it's 9. Because I see 9.5. So it's 9 years. 9 years.
9 years. So we'll see what happens and stuff. Let's keep it posted. Let's keep it pushing, man.
Is that the max that they gave her?
I don't think it's the max.
Okay.
It could have been more.
It could have been more.
It could have been more.
And like I said, I would be interested in knowing. That's how you really know. Like if like this is a sentence that's handed out regular to like citizens in Russia, what is the typical time that they get for it?
Normally it's about like 5 to 13.
5 to 13.
5 to 13. Because remember, you're doing smuggling, right? So the fact you're flying, it's smuggling.
Yeah, right.
It's drug smuggling.
That's added on top of
it. Right.
Right.
So even if she's not doing to distribution,
right,
and everything,
smuggling into the country,
in their world and
right.
their laws,
right,
it falls under smuggling and possible possession and possible intent to sell.
Possible intent, right?
You know what I'm saying?
Because she's coming over. I'm assuming if that's her hobby, and she feels like she ain't gonna be able to get nothing but mid when she lands, I'm sure she's coming in with a portion.
She came in. They gave her quantity of stuff earlier in some of the readings.
Yeah,
she came.
Like she's not coming in with just like 2-3 cartridges.
No, I think she came in probably about less than 10.
Less than 10.
Less than 10.
Yeah.
I can't remember. I don't quote me and stuff for the amount, but it's less than 10. But she had, I think, 2 pens, some cartridges, and stuff like that. And they were not even deltas. They were actual like CBD and THCs. Right? So we'll see what happens and stuff like that.
I'm just dumbfounded. Like you're going to Europe.
What do you mean you're dumbfounded? What do you mean dumbfounded? No, she's dumb.
I'm dumbfounded at how dumb she can be. You're going to you're Europe. Like I'm like,
you feel sorry for people like that?
No, but no, I'm not sending nobody. I'm not releasing no hard-earned Ivan the Terrible to save her ass. Yeah. No, I just told you.
Yeah, like I'm like as we speak, there's somebody probably smuggling some things that probably not worth the smuggle.
Listen, I've known countless of people. Mm-hmm. Well, I won't say countless. I could probably count them. I won't over-exaggerate. But I've known people who have gone to places to smuggle drugs to come back, have gotten caught in the places where they and have to spend years where they were. There was not, I'm special. The government is going to do something to bring me home.
To the low-profile people. Exactly. But that's what I'm saying. The high-profile people, this is where the thing, and much as social media can even hype up a person, right? We could be just the 2 guys and stuff like that with the podcast and everything. And then they get a proper photo of you like kissing a puppy, and they get a proper photo of me kicking a puppy and stuff like that. One's an animal lover, the other one PETA hates. And then next thing you know it's a whole world built around them. Because again, you still don't...
Don't be the one that PETA hates, man. Huh? Don't be the one that PETA hates, man. I would hate for anybody to come crash through the door in the middle of our podcast and hold up a PETA sign.
I ain't wearing no fur. You know, you think they can I crack some jokes on them and stuff. We'll call it a day. They gonna get these jokes just like everybody else.
Leave us alone and find the owner of the IKEA monkey. Okay? Find the owner of the IKEA monkey. We still don't know who that person is.
I don't care. The monkey is more important. I said for this episode, fuck everybody else.
Fuck everybody else?
This is more us. This is more us.
This is us without there being this is us.
Well, little remix to it, whatever. This is more to like the preview to the peoples for the Sons on the Streets. So we'll pull from the Sons of the Streets bag.
Okay.
With us.
Yeah.
So then in any case, the people are like, well, what is your answer when we go on Sons on the Streets? Well, what did you say? You have episode 200 to go listen to.
Episode 200.
To go listen to. Are you ready? How do you keep a woman with 5 words or less?
How do you keep a woman with 5 words or less?
Let's hear this. I'm ready for you.
Listen attentively without arguing.
Oh! Make her come first.
Yay! I think the 2 of us will be successful in life.
We'll be all right. We'll be all right. If you were a porn star, what would your name be?
Dick. Last name Hardigan.
Dick Hard again? I like that. I like that.
Dick Hardigan.
So I seen the stuff, whatever they said for porn star names.
Right.
You got to go by the last thing you ate.
The last thing you ate?
And the street you grew up on.
Okay. So that is... Let me hear it.
Burger Clover Leaf.
Burger Cloverleaf coming to the stage.
Dick swinging and everything. All right. If a female dog is called a bitch, then what would you call a male dog?
If a female dog is called a bitch, I'm gonna call the male dog whoremonger.
Whoremonger. As leader of Mighty Midget Mafia, I'm going to say Tristan Thompson.
AKA whoremonger.
Whoremonger again. Like, yo, that's a Tristan right there.
That's a Tristan.
That's a Tristan.
That's a Tristan.
All right. So, would you date a stripper?
I date a stripper.
You date a stripper?
Yeah.
Why?
Because she know how to move.
That's it. You don't think regular women know how to?
She know how to move proper.
I would date a stripper and stuff because I feel like if I'm to date a stripper,
right,
I would hope that money, like, you know, her mentality is on making her dollars, and she knows her product that she's selling and stuff is to sell the dream.
Right.
Now she's giving away the dream. I think is
she still a stripper at that point?
Stripper with an HOE at the end. But I think selling the fantasy is the whole type of thing. But yeah, right. I see no harm in stuff. Again, we said in episodes and stuff. You know, what was it, episode 13? That's what I said. Like we have history.
Listen, man. I remember when I used to go to the strip clubs. I was like, you know what I mean? Obviously, you go and you look at the girls get naked. But I remember one time I was amazed at this one particular girl.
Talk to me. What's her name? You remember her name?
I don't remember her name. But I'm not sure if she was a dancer prior to being a stripper or she just really knew how to work that pole. Because the movements and the grace of movements, first of all, she didn't pick no uppity up, no hot song or no hey, no shake your ass booties. It was just one of those songs where you can move graceful to. And then she just put like a circus
Soleil. And she owned
performers it. on that pole.
That's the kind of strippers I do like.
And I was like, okay, I see how this can be considered an art form. If you didn't take off your clothes and you had made me forget that you're naked and just watch you move gracefully, it became an art form.
I agree. I look at it where, if you can only make the cheeks clap and jiggle and you can't do pole work, you're a stripper. Right. And I feel like if you could do the pole work and make the cheeks clap,
you're a dancer?
Ballerina in my world. You're a ballerina.
Yeah.
Because my thing and stuff is that not all of them and stuff can go up there.
No.
Not all of them can go up there and do these pole tricks and all of the above. Like,
right.
I feel like maybe it's just me growing up in America and everything like that. I've seen like when I was younger, like the birthday parties. Right. You had, if I'm in the second grade, you had girls in second grade already dropping it down and everything, shaking their butt. Yeah. So I'm like, if you've been doing this from then, you can do this as an adult.
Right. There's nothing.
But I want to say, if you're up there doing like pole tricks, like climbing up and stuff, you're swinging around, or even like some of them when it was like 2 or 3 of them on the pole, and one swinging on top of another, like you're a ballerina there.
Yeah.
That's not a stripper. That's my ballerina.
Yo,
salute the belly.
Shout out to my dude Belly, man. Toronto's finest.
All right. Why you look so good? Tell us your secret.
Not giving a fuck.
Oh!
I just wake up and say, hey, today's the day.
Today's the day for what? Like,
whatever. Yeah, not giving a fuck.
I always look at this stuff as if you stay ready, you ain't gotta worry about getting ready.
Right.
And I look at that stuff as where it's really when you're growing up learning that whole expression, it's not the suit that makes the man is the man that makes the suit.
Yes.
I fully aware of that now. I want to say it's not really like a suit and tie kind of, apparel for me all the time.
Mm-hmm.
But I look at it where corny niggas can wear drip.
Yeah. Yeah.
Corny dudes can wear drip.
Matter of fact, I'll even one up you and say more corny niggas wear drip.
Yeah. Because that's all they got.
That's all they got.
That's all they got.
That's all they got.
They don't have no personality.
No.
They don't have no wordplay, no charm.
No.
No intelligence. That what sells them.
Yeah.
That what sells them because it's so funny.
You know how I know that's true, Marv?
Talk to me.
Because rich people got their money.
Facts.
So they're never worried about being in any type of flossy clothes or anything like that.
Facts. Because I look at it where you have, remember that photo?
Yeah.
You see the older dude, older hairy dude in the tight Speedo with the young sexy ass brunette. Mm-hmm. They're like, yo, when your son asks you why he should go to school, show him this photo.
Show him this photo.
Right? And I look at it and I always laugh and I said like, yeah, no matter what, with the proper and right amount of things and stuff, whatever, you're going to get, I guess, the girl. You're going to get the prize or whatever. But is it quality? I'm not too sure.
Yeah.
I'm not too sure.
Yeah.
Again, we still intro change, but we're still judgment free, whatever. Who are we to say stuff whatever, right? But then again, I look at it stuff as where you have to actually grind hard to know for a fact that this is going to be at the end of the tunnel. Because if you put in your head and stuff like, yo, I need to make this money. What are you making the money for?
It's true.
So
you're making the money, yeah. But okay, what about the Papi Chulo that's not making the money,
mm-hmm.
but is suave enough to survive?
You don't need drip. Papi Chulo don't need drip.
Yeah, he don't need drip either.
You don't need drip?
He don't need drip either. He just needs to be popped there. Yeah.
You don't need drip.
Yeah.
We have, put like this. I'll say this to you. You're wearing a Podical Sun shirt. I'm wearing a Podical Sun shirt. You're wearing a Podical Sun's hat. I'm wearing a Podical Sun's hat.
Right.
You have the Zua. Shout out to the Zua.
Shout out to the Zua. Rock with us from episode 1.
I look at it stuff as that. All our clothing and accessories are not Balenciaga, top tier, high fashion, quote unquote, considered high fashion.
Right.
You think that if we were to be dropped in the middle of anywhere and stuff and have conversation and stuff, people wouldn't love us?
Oh, of course they'd love us.
And they won't love us because of the apparel.
No.
We don't need the apparel. No. Papi Chulo won't need the apparel if he already is suave.
This is true. Yeah.
Again, it's not the clothes that makes the man. It's the man that makes the clothes.
Makes the clothes.
All right.
But those clothes companies love the man who makes the clothes because then it's like a double bonus when you have them in your clothes.
It's a double bonus.
Yeah, it's a double bonus.
But they're looking for anybody to wear the clothes and stuff to help sell set product, whatever. All right.
And just understand, you'll never look good as the Papi Chulo that they used to sell you the clothing. Just doesn't work. Just not.
Well, I feel like certain looks, they go with set person.
Yeah.
I used to work with a woman. She was a heavier set woman, right? And she went to the hairdresser, and she's like blonde brunette type, and she said, somebody said, "Oh, I like your hair, like blank blank. I like your hair."
Right.
And she's like, "Thanks, Jennifer Aniston. I got it done like Jennifer Aniston." Heifer, stop.
Yeah.
Don't do that. Don't do that.
Don't
do that.
Resemble anything?
No, because her cheeks are rounder and fuller and everything like that. You know, Jennifer Aniston's like a slender type of woman. So the person did like one of those little squints, like, oh, okay. And then as soon as she walked away, they were like, she knows she like no damn Jennifer Aniston and stuff like that. I was like, I don't know why she said Jennifer Aniston. She should just say thank you for the compliment.
Yeah.
Keep it pushing.
Yeah. You gotta, it's something like that. You gotta say that's like, you gotta wait for somebody to say, but that's Jennifer Aniston's haircut.
But that's what I'm saying. Yeah. She looked at stuff as like, that's Jennifer Aniston. If it looks good on her, it will look good on me. If it looks good and set dude in that $1 million suit, it'll look good on me. No, it won't.
Yeah. You're not Papi Chulo.
You're not Papi Chulo.
You're not Papi Chulo.
Yo, what caused your last breakup? You know you're a married man.
Mm-hmm.
I want to know how far. Think back. What caused your last breakup? You want to hit the pen? Can I pour you up? Can I refill you? I'm bringing some inner trauma. You know, this is what we do on this podcast. This is the therapy you thought you didn't need.
I think my last breakup that I had was, they had nothing to actually do with me, actually. It was
Are you just saying that because it's the microphone in front of you?
I'm just saying that because we're here to give the people the truth, and
nothing but the truth,
so help and help with breakthroughs, and kind of make save somebody else that might be going through the same situation.
All right.
Your son's at the 200th show.
All right.
This is it. Yeah, it was more of her and not being able to get over a previous boyfriend that was, I want to say, on the abusive side.
Oh, so you were getting fried with that oil.
Yeah. You know what? And I'm not sure if I was necessarily getting fried with the oil. Moreover than not understanding how, hey, this is kind of how you should be treated. Mm-hmm. And this is what exemplifies someone actually caring for you, as opposed to how you were being treated and thinking that's an appropriate language of love. And maybe that's just how I'm reading it, or how I read it, how it ended. But I would say that would be, how my last one ended.
How old were you at that time?
I want to say I was probably about, I'll say maybe 19, 20.
So now, as a 40-plus-year-old man, you understand the dynamics of daddy issues. Did daddy issues play a factor for her?
You know what? It's possible, because she didn't live with her real father. She lived with her, I would say, stepfather.
Or the father that stepped up.
or the father that stepped up, because to be quite honest, I don't know the extent of the relationship the mom and the stepfather had.
Correct.
I just knew that there was a dude in the picture, right? So, but that it was not her father, her actual father. So possible, it's possible.
Well, because
I mean, in the way I say that it's possible is that the relationship that she was coming from prior to me was of an abusive type of, oh, my boyfriend's a thug type of relationship.
Right, but no two are like a snowflake.
No.
So if I, quote unquote, dated a stripper before,
right,
and I date a woman who's not a stripper, I can't look at her and say, well, why are you going to bed so early? Because my ex-girlfriend before, the time you're getting ready to go to bed, was up with full of energy and everything. I cannot treat said person the same way.
You can't.
So it doesn't make an excuse for her to think that,
right,
that whatever set dude did before,
right,
is going to be the same and stuff here with you.
Yeah.
Right? Looking back on hindsight and stuff, there's always a teaching lesson, because not only for like your like the possible daughter's lesson, but like other women and stuff that would like to learn from you.
See, and what you're saying, is I agree with, right? But I think it may be more of a psychological issue of it being ill treatment, not realizing that it's ill treatment, and kind of falling for that, and kind of wanting that.
You lost me. You're being ill treatment, but not being ill treatment.
Ill treatment, right?
Right.
And that it's abusive.
Correct.
Right?
Did she recognize it?
Not recognize it.
Okay.
For it, so it not being ill treatment, because we know what it is.
Right.
Right? But not being ill treatment to her because she's not recognizing it. Right? And then not getting that type of treatment from me, thinking, okay, maybe this is not it. Because my last boyfriend claimed that he loved me, but this was his, and that's why I said not understanding the language of love, or in misinterpreting the language of love.
I think for some people, this is my theory. My theory and stuff is that, how do you know love when you never seen love?
Again.
Right?
So, and that's why when you ask me, and that's why I'm going back, when you ask me if you think it could be daddy issues, that's why I said, well, I'm not sure, because she did not live with her real father. She lived with her stepfather.
Father that stepped up.
Father who stepped up. How much of that stepping up, I don't know. Maybe
he stepped up enough to fuck the mom. I'm just saying.
It could be so. It could be not.
It could be like, yo, this is not my responsibility.
Right. I don't
because this is not my daughter.
Right. I'm not showing you how a man's supposed to treat you. I'm not showing you this, that, or that. Here comes this boyfriend now, who comes shows you this unrealistic version of love, or you may think it is because he says it is, but it's really just as physical abuse, and then you don't recognize it as physical abuse, right? You get out of that relationship because somebody tells you that that it is physical abuse. Now here comes me coming along with something that's totally different, but you don't recognize that, or you don't recognize the good in that. I don't know. I don't know if that makes any sense.
It makes sense.
Yeah,
it makes sense.
That's how I'm trying to rationalize it to me, because at the time that it didn't, at the time as it did happen.
But you're different from that time now, because I want to say you've acquired so much other knowledge from that. So a lot of times the stuff is that what I've noticed with people on the planet is that we'll acquire knowledge. Like we'll go through a situation, and then we'll kind of put it like in the back of our mind, and we won't go back and analyze it from the current state of who we are now. Right. Like, I want to say for me, for my situation, I look at not that, but separate situations where living in the hood to me means that, like, you know, gunshots, ghetto bird, like helicopters and certain things like that is gonna come with the territory.
Yes.
My brain at a young age normalized that.
Right.
At 37 now, that's not good for me.
Right.
And that's not good for any child at that whatever age and stuff. I deemed that was a normal thing.
Right.
You get what I'm saying?
Right.
Because my brain now is now telling me and stuff like, no, we need to create a better environment, or what would you do different if you could? And, you know, to prevent other generations from going through the bad that you went through.
Right.
Hove did that, so hopefully you don't have to go through that.
Right.
Something like that. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So I'm like, your words today could probably fuel and spark somebody say like, the fuck, shit, my relationship might be kind of fucked.
Yeah. Yeah.
This ain't right.
Yeah.
And then somebody might come in your DM like, how is a man supposed to treat a woman?
Well, there you go. There you go. And, well, yeah. What about you? I mean, with the question being posed to you, when would you have say the breakup was...
My last breakup and stuff was that she cheated.
Right.
She's cheated. I don't want to go with horoscope, astrology type of stuff.
Right.
But my crystal and my sage is telling me, as a Taurus that I am, I don't know when to leave a party when it's over. And when I heard that about certain Taurus people, I kind of recognized that. Talk to me.
Okay, you're gonna say you kind of recognize. Did you recognize that there was telltale signs there? Now,
right? Like I said, like into it, like when you're going through the.
But I'm asking, did you recognize that, like
going through? After,
no. Like just like after it happened, or after hearing that statement about Taurus?
Oh, I want to say after hearing that statement about Taurus.
Right.
That was years after set breakup.
Right.
Like I said, it's kind of like whatever knowledge you have acquired now.
Yeah.
It's always good to reflect and kind of go back.
Yeah.
So like somebody asked me and stuff, they're like, yo, I've never heard you say you're bored. I'm like, yeah, because the time that I was my down period, I use that to better myself.
Right.
To look at previous mistakes I don't make and stuff anymore, to be a better version of me currently.
Right.
Right. And set situation when I was going through with set woman, it was a situation where I'm optimistic.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, well, hopefully we do this, and this.
Yeah. It'll work itself out.
Boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy.
Yeah.
A brother was wrong as shit.
Yeah.
But it happens, right? But again, and then when it came around to the second time and stuff, it was still alarm clock went off like, hey, this is let's say the information gathered is not too far off from previous set situation.
Right.
Do you get better or do you be optimistic and stuff like that again?
Right.
And then you got to know when to abandon ship.
Well, they say once bitten, twice shy. Yeah, I think that's the key to most things, right? It's like you.
But some people even go like 5-6 times getting bit.
Well, I think that in itself lies the problem, and I've said this on the podcast. If I've done something to hurt you, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I see that it genuinely hurt you, right?
Mm-hmm.
I beg and I plead for forgiveness and tell you that because I've seen how much it's hurt you, I'm never ever gonna put you in that situation again, right?
Mm-hmm.
If it leads up to that, well, I'll end up just pulling away and pulling away from you before I even get to the point of hurting you again, right? With that being said, if I beg and I get that second chance, then it is up to me to live up to my word that I didn't live up to the first time. It is up to me as a man, as a person, as a human being to live up to that word the second time. Because that person has given me another chance. They didn't have to give me that other chance.
Correct.
But because of that grace, that person has given me that second chance to redeem myself. Right? Now, if that second chance comes around and I fuck it up, then I didn't care enough.
Agreed.
I didn't care enough to redeem myself.
But then it's still up to the other person or said woman to say they're going to leave you or stay and wait for a possible third chance.
But if that person gives you a third chance, I don't know. I'm going to have to question that person. I'm going to be honest with you.
I want you to be honest all the time.
I'm going to have to question that person because if I allowed you the chance to hurt me the first time.
Correct.
Right? And I said to you, listen, you really damaged my heart the first time, right? Here, I've taken careful consideration and careful time to put my heart back together. I'm entrusting you a second time with the heart that you mashed up the first time.
It's in recovery mode. It's
a little bit more fragile than it was the first time around because of what you did. But I'm willing to give it to you a second time. And you don't even care enough to know that it's in a fragile state from the first time, and you fuck it up again the second time? No, you don't deserve it a third. You don't deserve it a third.
Like I said, a good leader knows when to abandon ship.
Yeah.
But then there's not a lot of good leaders. There's not a lot of good, I want to say, solid, concrete people out there that can kind of recognize that, right? Because think about it. If you're, I don't, and like I said, going back to the abuse, go ahead.
And I'm sorry. In my eyes, you don't deserve a third. Kudos to those who can give you a third and fourth, because you do have some people that clean up their mess. And you do, and sometimes,
eventually.
And sometimes it does take a person a second, a third, a fourth to do. Eventually, they might get there. But it really at that point, it really depends on that person to give you those chances.
That's very
If they're not willing to give you a third, you can't blame them. You can't. If they've given you a second, if you were lucky to get that second, count your blessings.
Okay, so what if you're in an abusive relationship? Like some women and stuff, some women or men too,
right,
are in some abusive relationships where, say beat up boyfriend and stuff, like, beats him a few times. Right? Baby, I'm sorry, I'll never do that again. I lost my shit. I was drinking, blah, blah, blah. I'm gonna cut the drinking, all that type of stuff. I promise you, I'm gonna do better. Oh, no, okay. He gives another ass whooping and shit like that again, right?
Nah.
And she's still there.
Yeah.
Because she feels like it's nothing as better as this. Like the bad is he'll get in his drinking mode and he'll get no abusive shit, but she might get like, roof taken care of, like, like he's still providing shelter, still doing other things and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And they'll still stay. They'll still stay. Like I said, a good captain knows when to abandon ship. My personal opinion and stuff is that person hasn't made good decisions to be considered a good captain. To know when to abandon ship.
And see,
look at us.
See, is taking the abuse worth it to that person? Because if it is, then you can't convince that person otherwise. Like you're saying, if this person is receiving, all their bills are being paid, right? Mm-hmm. Food is on the table. Mm-hmm. Anything that they're being asked for is being provided. Then at that point, can you, even if you see a problem with them being beat, can you convince them that it's not worth it? Because if they deem it's worth it, then there's not much you can do about it, and they've accepted their fate.
Agreed.
They've accepted their fate to. I guess they've balanced it out in their mind. They're willing to take the abuse for whatever it comes with, because whatever it comes with, they value it. But that is you can't. I don't know. How do you consider that? Do you equate? Okay. Again, so going back now, do you equate that as the language of love? Do you say, okay, yeah, he may treat me like this, that, and the third, but because he does all of this for me, this is how I know he loves me.
Yeah, I mean, why not? If he's paying bills and doing all the above, that can consider act of service. If he's buying her like Balenciaga, Prada, and all this nice shit, that's receiving gifts.
Yeah. But every now and then they come with one or two backhand. Like,
hey, I'm not an abuser. I don't know.
No, but I'm trying to. I'm trying
there's a silver lining to a lot of this shit.
I'm trying to figure this out. And we're not making light of the subject.
No, we're not making light.
But I'm just saying, like, because you pose the question, like, what if she stays because she's getting this, that, and the third? Mm-hmm. She's turning a blind eye to what might be giving her a blind eye.
Or a black eye because her eye is closed. Okay, see, we're going. Yeah. See, you made me slip this way. I was a saint.
I just don't know. I'm saying after the second chance you give that person, if they still fucking up, you leave. I'm not here for you. I'm hoping that you're not staying for the rest of that bullshit.
All right. You're calm now? You all right? You all right? Can I pour you a little something? You all right? You want to take another puff?
200, son.
200. I like that.
200.
What are the red flags and green flags with working with me?
Red flags and green flags with working with you. Mm-hmm. Red flags are... I'm not sure what the topics are going to be.
I was going to say that because I was like, hey, you ready to record? Let's go into some fuck shits.
That's the red flag because, obviously I got to prepare for the topic. And I kind of like how we do it. I kind of like waiting a couple hours prior to figure out what it is that we're going to talk about. And if it's not necessarily anything that I'm abreast upon, then I'll do something just real quick, but I'd like to go into it with just my raw thought. So I think that is the red, right? And the green, in the same token, would be the topics that you do come up with, because it does lead me to think a bit. You know what I mean? It does lead me to give a perspective that might be my own, but still give it because it's a perspective anyway. And other people out there might be thinking about it, or other people out there might have a different opinion, and
they might be too shy, or they don't want to vocalize it.
Well, not that they might be too shy, but if they're of a different opinion, I'm not saying that I'm necessarily right with my opinion. So here's an opportunity for someone to just
add another one,
shoot me a line and say, hey, you know what? I heard what you said last podcast. Did you ever think of it this way, or did you ever think of this? And so, you know, it's expressing what I know about a specific thing that you may bring to the table, but with the knowledge that we got fans out there that listen to it, and they're knowledgeable also, right? And they're not afraid to reach out and join in. And it's a topic that everybody can just join in, right? It's a topic that everybody not necessarily have a chance to speak about, but for the most part think about.
I think that's part of it. That's part of the whole allure that I try to go about with the topics and the questions.
Right. Because
the thing is that for some reason I feel like today a lot of things are more on the extreme than it's just like just a okay or a decent level. Yeah. So it's kind of like either you're super for it or you're super against it. Right. It's kind of like if you love it, you're a dick rider. If you hate it, you're a hater, or you dislike it, you're a hater automatically. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So I look at it where with certain topics, my thing and stuff is just kind of come with, okay, are we thinking too shallow or are we thinking too deep? Because if you're thinking shallow about it, then you will come with a quick surface kind of response to the topic or to the prompt. Right. And if you're not, if you're putting more deep thought into it, then it can get deeper as that. Yeah. Because like even the simple thing and stuff I asked you, I said, what caused your last breakup? And then look what spawned into all of that. Because you're a deep thinker. But if you were a different type of person and look at the shallow thing, motherfucker cheated on me. I don't want to talk about it. It's a deep time. It's a dark time in my mom. You know what I'm saying?
But even I think even so though, like even with us thinking, like even with the questions that you come up with, right, and us being able to think about it and expound upon or expunge upon whatever we're trying to say, it's still at a point where we look at our time constraints, right? But this podcast could easily be
one topic could
Joe Rogan 2, 3. So I see some touch for. I mean, it could easily be like that. The way how like we go in on certain topics, right? And like keep in mind, you guys are listening to episodes. Let me just let you know that there might be something scheduled for an episode that may not reach the episode because we've just taken too long on a particular topic, and the time constraints that we've set upon ourselves just doesn't allow for it, right?
But we have to get the thought across.
But we have to get
we have to get at least those other previous thoughts across before we want to touch on something else.
Yeah, exactly. And it's a situation where, again, 200 shows in, we realize how important it is to get a particular thought across and then move on from it.
Yeah, of course. You want to get it clear as possible and stuff.
Then move on from it. Because the last thing we want you guys to be like, what
the fuck?
Yeah, like, so what about there with that? Like, it's try
you left us hanging.
Yeah, we try to discover as much as we possibly can before we move on.
You guys left us hanging. You guys are really dicks.
You guys are assholes.
My red flags working with your ass is that sometimes when I want you to go nuts, you don't be going nuts.
I don't be going nuts.
And then the time stuff when I don't expect you to go nuts, I'm like, how did we get here?
Again, time constraints. Not your average Joseph. Keep with the time.
No, because I think the thing and stuff is that you're your own individual, and this is where I always look at it and stuff with the world.
Right.
We're family. business partners. We've been rocking together and everything like that. We interact often.
Yeah.
You know, we speak often and everything like that. I cannot assume I know exactly how you think pertaining to some subject or some topic.
Right.
Right? I have an idea in my head.
Yeah.
How I think you might react to it and stuff. But then when I realize like, oh shit, like tell me how you really feel. Like, you know, and you get to going in on and everything like that. I was like, damn, I didn't really think it was gonna be like that. And then you're passionate, and I never want to stand in anybody's passion.
Right.
I never want to stand in front of anybody's passion. I want them to go full steam ahead with how they feel or what their point is across. If I'm lost, I'm gonna interject and like, I beg your pardon?
Yeah.
Could you clear that up for me? But other than that, run.
Yeah.
Run.
Yeah.
I'm not the type of person that holds people back. Now, my green flag with you is that, again, you're meticulous.
Right.
You're from the sound quality and all the above, because I think with you and I doing this, motherfuckers think this shit is easy.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think we put on a persona that this thing looks easy, like it just can happen. But again, like we explained in the beginning part of the show,
right?
This fine tuning, this is hard work and armpit stains.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Like from cushions to build walls to get to the point and stuff. Whatever. This is not a over the night thing, but a lot of people thought that. And you and I, we both know we won't never air them out. That's not our style. Yeah. But you and I both know we help build some podcasts.
Yeah.
We help build some podcasts.
Of course, yeah.
And we are still here, and we still have no problem help building and stuff, as long as it doesn't take away from our thing.
No, it's. I mean, and that's one of the key things, right?
And because they know we're not to cut you, but because they know we're meticulous, because I know you're meticulous.
Yeah,
I know for a fact it's gonna go boom, 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 crystal clarity, and I can fuck with you. I can work with a person like you,
right,
on different levels,
right,
because of what I know about you.
Yeah,
floor is yours.
Well, I think the key thing is we understand the importance of the audience.
Mm.
Again, going back to what I was saying earlier, right? Like a lot of these people who are coming from like or entering into the podcast world, they're used to listening to either some form of radio, some form of audio books, something that gets them in a realm of where they're just listening, right? Mm-hmm. It's only recently, and I would say only recently, but with podcasts always start off as a listening thing, then recently became a visual thing, right? But even with it being a visual thing, audio is still the number one priority, right?
Agreed.
So it just became a situation where that was a key thing, making sure that was a key thing. The being meticulous and being meticulous and being concise, I think that really comes down to the point where we are not willing to put together a program that is for an audience and then have the audience disappointed.
Basically, I'll translate for him because he made that shit in so many goddamn words. We ain't giving you shit quality. Every week, it's nothing but 110% that we're giving.
110% we're giving. And listen, man, you get it on a Tuesday morning. Sometimes that Tuesday morning when you get it, like sometimes it's just like an hour prior, I've finished. Mm-hmm. Like I've finished. It's scheduled to release 4 a.m. every morning on the Tuesday. I may have finished the episode or finished like the edits like at 3 a.m. just so that you guys can get it for the Tuesday morning. This is how we think, and this is how we run the ship, right? Like it doesn't matter what else is going on in our lives. We deem this an important mission that our audience gets what they deserve. This is the program that we've built. This is the ship that we've built. So when he says he's giving me, when he green lights what I do, it's there because we put the audience first.
Yeah.
First and foremost, And it goes back from when I say I greenlight the topics, because again, I elaborate on them. I put my perspective on them, knowing that it's something that like I say in the commercial, something that other people can rock with, and they're thinking about the same thing too. So it's just a matter of them chiming in and giving their perspective or agreeing with what we're saying.
Straight goods.
Straight goods.
Let's get to a question of the week, and we can move.
Question of the week.
Question of the week. What is your favorite lie to tell?
I'm going to be there in a few minutes.
My favorite lie, what I realize and stuff, is that if I fuck with you,
yeah.
If I fuck with you, you know my business.
Right.
And if I don't fuck with you, you don't know my business.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to tell you my business if I don't fuck with you.
No.
So I think that because I run into more people and stuff, let's say on a weekly basis that I don't fuck with.
Right.
That's why the lies come up and stuff like that. They be like, hey, what did you do this weekend? I was petting unicorns all damn weekend.
Right.
Unicorns, really? I'm like, are we friends or are we colleagues? I don't have to tell you nothing what I do. You don't got to tell me nothing what you do. And I think because the thing is stuff is, again, I'm not going to have people that I don't really are willing to ride or die for around me unless I know. And if set people before, I'm looking at, are you worthy enough to come in my world?
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
And that's why I tend to look at certain people in certain aspects and stuff. Are you worthy enough to know information? Mm-hmm. You're worthy enough. So I tell you stuff like, Smooth, I'm doing this, doing that, A, B, C, D, and E.
Yeah.
And all the above. And then somebody else stuff, I'm like, I don't fuck with you like that. Like, I was sleeping in Alaska the whole weekend. Yeah. Oh, why'd you go to Alaska? My business, my money.
That's it.
Next question.
That's it. So
that's one of my favorite lies to tell people.
Right.
Like I don't tell people like, you know, what the hell I do on the weekend if I don't fuck with you.
No. This is strictly I pet unicorns on the weekend. That's all.
That's it. That's it. Because people are like, oh, I think somebody said to me that like, you were there with us, like there's some coworkers. Yeah. Like you were there with us when we went out and we had a good damn time. You were the life of the party, and you never once took your phone out, put some photos up on somebody's and she's specifically a woman. She said, we sent you photos for you to post up on your Instagram, and you never posted nothing on your question. I'm like, my business.
No. I be steadily hitting them off with the, you know what I mean, few minutes.
Dick.
No, full well that.
Yeah,
I got another.
You got another 10, 20.
Easily.
Piece of shit.
Easily.
To the ask the sons on the, what is it? What do you say? Sun 100? What would you? 200 shit?
200. 200.
First one comes up, Crip Up Crocodile. Oh, we know what gang you with. What conspiracy theory do you believe is 100% true? That's all to you.
What conspiracy theory do I believe that's 100% true? They killed Gaddafi because he was going to make gold. The official, what do you call it? The official currency of the Middle East. I think that's true.
My conspiracy theory I would go with is that 9/11 was a conspiracy. And the reason why I say that is because of the fact that they flew the fuck out of the Bin Laden family straight out the country. No other plane can leave.
They were like, it's not even like, they were like, okay, let's kind of just wait till everything kind of dies down and nobody's watching, then we'll kind of sneak them. No, it's like shit went down.
All flights were grounded except for the flight for the Bin Laden family to get where the fuck they were, because they knew Osama was the main head, and that was the only flight that left after like that 10 a.m. on that Tuesday morning. Somebody got to convince me it's not, but that's my conspiracy theory.
imagine the work. Imagine a person like you're in charge of rounding up the Bin Laden family members, because you know they weren't not just chilling
together.
Yeah. But you know you got like 4 to 5 hours to round all of them up and get them at a specific location on time for this plane to fly them away.
Mm-hmm.
The scrambling that you got to do.
Yeah,
like you got to find one at the nightclub. You got to find one
everywhere. But that's what I'm saying. It's that's why I said 9/11 is a conspiracy. Because I'm like, you have to do all of that. No, your main focus is set person. And to get to set person, you need to find, like I said, I'm not going into that. That's my conspiracy theory 100%. Somebody has to change my mind.
Please try to change his mind and just not kidnap him, and we don't know where he's gone to. And I just got to do the show one man gang style because.
Oh, we got a little leftover episodes in the cut. They can hear my voice. Kennedy 2019.
I was gonna say Kennedy was a conspiracy.
Oh no. Next question.
Kennedy 2019. Next question. Okay, good.
Kennedy 2019. What is the most simple but pleasing activity that makes you feel at peace and calm?
Oh, I was talking about this the other day, and I was saying, if I had room in my living room, I would probably get another one. Watching fish swimming in a fish tank.
That's your shit. Yeah, you used to have a fish tank.
Yeah.
That's your shit.
Mm.
That's just common to you.
It's just shit. Yeah, it's just.
I know a lot of people like that because I always brought up your shit and stuff, and I'm like, this man's smooth out here. This about to be on some different shit. Him and his fucking fish tanks. But I'm like, that's your peace and calm.
Yeah.
My peace and calm, what I realize now is that I said it to everybody. Even like my girl knows and stuff, and Ben knows, and everybody knows now. I like to sit on the porch. I like to sit on the balcony in the porch and just look at like the sky and whatever's going around and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Shit's alright. Because I remember when I was younger, I used to look at older people, like even like the fam, like on the porch at like Nickel. I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with these old people? All they do is just sit there and they just stare at nothing. And have conversations and shit.
Yeah.
And look at my 37-year-old ass. I'm on there, like if I'm talking to my girl, like shit. She's there with me. We're just sitting out, just talking, reasoning about shit. I'm out there with my boy and stuff at his spot. We just sitting, talking, reasoning some shit. I might be on the phone, just sitting out there, just watching the sunset.
Yeah.
Shit is nice. That's peace and calm to me.
Yeah.
I fucking love it. I try to make sure I have one of those moments at least once a day. At least once a day. I think what pissed me off is because I'm not like a winter tactics kind of person.
Right.
If I was, I'd have been like that. So because, I'd been outside, it'd be like, just watch the sunset. But no, because when the snow and the winter comes around, I just get close to the window and just put my hand on it like, damn, this bitch cold. But it still looks beautiful out there. I can appreciate it.
I think, as you say that, I think this winter, well, maybe not this winter, because they are already forecasting.
Watch your mouth, man. Watch your mouth how you speak to me.
Okay, I won't bring it up.
They don't know what they're talking about.
They don't know.
A farmer's almanac. No one calls a fucking calendar almanac.
They don't know what they're talking about. But I think I will be looking to do some winter activities this winter.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, I think so.
So is this the reason why you're trying to motivate me to buy these winter boots?
Well, you know what? I think living in Canada, I think we need to embrace more of the activities that happens during the winter time and stop acting
drinking hot cocoa. And marshmallows by a camp. By a fireplace inside.
Stop acting like the damn Caribbean people that we are. Afraid of cold temperatures and not willing to participate in winter activities. No, we should embrace the countries that we live in.
Fair.
We should embrace it.
Not mad at that. I'll give it a shot. Last question.
Wait, before you get to the last question, have you ever been skiing?
Once.
You've been skiing once.
Mm-hmm.
Then was that downhill or cross country? Because I've been cross country skiing once.
Okay, so I don't do cross country.
You don't do cross country?
I went down the hill.
I've never been downhill, so that's the reason why I asked.
I went to Blue Mountain.
You went to Blue Mountain?
I went to Blue Mountain with some friends. Oh, this is a while back.
Ladies and gentlemen, do the Suns need a Blue Mountain retreat? You gotta let us know because we're trying to figure out winter activities. We don't do winter stuff. We're Caribbean. We're Caribbean.
Hot cocoa inside by a fireplace.
That's the extent.
That's my favorite.
That's the extent.
And if I'm with my woman, we can hump right by the fireplace. The end.
He's been to Blue Mountain. I've been close to Blue Mountain in at a retreat, but I still haven't done any winter activities. The extent of my winter activities is cross-country skiing and snowshoes. I've been in snowshoes out in like.
That's the one the cartoons draw like the tennis racket on your feet?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
I've been in snowshoes.
Gotcha.
But otherwise than that, not me. I've been in Canada 46 years of my life. It's kind of bad.
You step your game up. I about to say I try to do things at least once for the experience.
Right.
Yeah. Just to see and stuff like, shit ain't that half bad.
Yeah.
Just about that. But I want to say, like, if I try it and I do it, I'm like, this is not for me, then I keep it pushing.
I'm willing to try downhill. Maybe not skiing, snowboarding. I'll try downhill snowboarding.
Snowboarding is easier.
Yes.
Because I, like that day,
right,
we did the skis and then somebody else let me try their snowboard.
Right.
Because I want to say, trying to keep your two legs kind of semi-close enough together when ice and on top of that layer can kind of make you do like Johnny Cage splits. Mm-hmm. It's a different dance.
See, I feel and I feel like if we're gonna do a Podical Suns thing, like I can't do skiing in a day. That would have to be me spending a week at the resort, and I think we kind of need to just stick to like the 1 or 2 days first. So I would be willing to try the snowboarding.
Weekend. All you need is a weekend.
Just the weekend. I'll be willing to try the snowboarding.
Cool. Last question comes from Gypsy Gale. If you can make one illegal thing legal, what would it be and why?
One illegal thing legal.
Mm-hmm.
What would it be?
And why?
And why?
Bringing drugs internationally to countries.
I was thinking that. I was thinking that. I was thinking that, but I was trying to come up with my why.
Why?
Why?
So we won't trade no damn WNBA player for no damn friggin' Russian arms dealer. That's why. Holy.
Oh my gosh.
Great minds think alike.
Great minds do think alike.
Thank you.
I was like, yeah, but is there anything else I can think of? But I kept going back to that, and then eventually you said it.
All right. Let's get to the Soul Say the Suns. So Soul Say the Suns this week.
This week. This is the 200th. This is the 200th Soul Says the Suns.
200 Soul Say the Suns.
Actually, is it the 200th? Come on, we didn't know. We started. The Soul Says the Suns came in after. Right.
Soul Say the Suns came in after.
Right.
First episode did not have a Soul Say the Suns. It came in after. It came in less than 10. To pinpoint where exactly, I probably have to continue on my beginning journey.
Right.
But when I listened to the first episode, and I thought, let me say this, before the Soul Say the Suns, the first episode is that no matter what, from what always remains the same besides us, is that there was always style and substance. We still got to the nitty gritty of things.
Right.
And then we still found time to bring back the humor and the joy to the episode. So the first episode, we're talking about Amber Geiger and Botham Jean, how she went in and murdered him, a cop, female cop.
That was Mrs. Officer.
Right. Mm-hmm. She went in and murdered my guy, sitting in his house, eating ice cream by his damn self. And there's nothing fun about that, but yet we still found a way to bring back more fun and humor and substance back to it, bring it back to the light. And that's what and that's never changed. I think that's kind of like our formula.
Right.
That we've been running with, and if it ain't broken, don't fix it.
Nah. I mean, we can't fix it now. I mean, we fix it now, and then our viewer audience would be like, "Hey, what the hell?
It ain't broken, so we ain't gotta fix it.
What the hell?
We ain't gotta fix it.
This is not what I'm used to."
So say the Sons this week comes from Smooth himself. Oh yes, and to the new people and to the old folks and stuff, whatever. Yes, his other name again is Smooth to me. If you knew Puff Daddy as Puff Daddy, do you call him Brother Love? That's his name now. His current name is Brother Love.
Yeah.
Do you call him Brother Love or do you call him Puff?
Then listen.
You gonna be my Puff.
And you know what the thing is too?
What's up?
Because if the new people come around and call him Puff, he'd probably be like, "Nah, you don't know me like that to call me Puff." But the real people who know him like that can call him Puff. So the real people who know me like that are gonna call me Smooth. They're gonna see me as
hey, not your average Joe.
We're like, that's that nigga Smooth. That's Smooth.
Exactly. So say the Sons this week says, "Don't let anyone tell your story before you."
So says the Sons.
Would you like to touch on that, kind sir?
Yeah, I mean
this episode is proof.
Right.
We told our pitfalls, our ups and our downs. This shit is not easy. This is our story, and we're still writing it because we're the narrators.
We are the narrators. That's the most important thing about that. And you want to know what the deep shit about that statement is? When I thought about that, when I wrote it, I was like, at the time, I was working for somebody else, right? I was working for all that don't know. I used to work for
everywhere.
Last employment was Chrysler.
Smooth is Jamaican / Filipino / Mexicano / I do everything. Continue.
And I thought about it, and I was like, wow. Somebody wrote this story, included me in it, and I didn't even know that they included me in it. For those out there who are wondering what I'm talking about is, Mr. Chrysler wrote a story, right? His story was, he's going to create cars. Part of him creating cars is he's going to create a factory that makes cars.
Correct.
Right? In his factory that makes cars, he's going to have workers who make those cars. Right? 100 years later, his story is still being fulfilled. Right? Now, I have my story that have yet to be written. But instead of starting writing my story, I figure, okay, I got to live life. In order to live life, there's certain things that I got to do. Certain things that I got to do is I got a job. And I've got many of jobs, as you pointed out.
This is true, senor.
I've got many of jobs, but the last job that I've gotten was working for Mr. Chrysler. Somehow, I became that character of the worker who worked in the factory of his story. So I thought about that and I was like, wow, that's so deep.
Seemed like a weed thought though, but continue.
Bro, it might have been. But I'm like, that's so deep. Here I am, not living my own story, but I'm living a story. Because it was written. Dude had the story of a factory worker, a factory and a factory workers. Guess what? I'm that factory worker.
It's a legacy.
In this dude's story.
Yeah.
Right? So now I got to figure out, okay, wait. Shit. Somebody's telling my story. And in the story that's being told, I'm a factory worker. So that's why I thought of it. It's like, okay, you know what? If being a factory worker is my story, then that's okay. I'm living my story. My story is being told. I'm living my story.
Mm-hmm.
But if that's not my story, a story is being told about me that it's not mine. So now I got to figure out what my story really truly is meant to be, so I can live that story and tell that story. Or that story may not ever be heard. I may just be continue being that auto worker in Mr. Chrysler's story.
I think a lot of people, this is my opinion, I feel like a lot of people have to understand where I look at spinoffs.
Right.
Spinoffs. I love a spinoff and stuff like that. I always give a spinoff a chance because I feel like I might be a spinoff and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Let's say my mother's story.
How do you feel like of the Cleveland show?
Which show? The Cleveland, the cartoon character?
Yeah, the show itself. Because, first and foremost, are you a fan of The Family Guy?
I am.
Okay.
I am.
Okay. Now, that's a spinoff of The Family Guy.
Right.
How do you feel of that show?
I feel like it has its own kind of world. I think the animation and stuff is there.
Right.
But I feel like certain jokes and stuff don't hit as well as the Family Guy mark. Because you're not getting the traditional Family Guy characters.
Right.
So it's kind of like, and this is what I'm saying, like pertaining to like spinoff. Like my mom's story and stuff is one way.
Right.
And I look at it where here now, she was living a particular type of lifestyle until she had me.
Yeah.
And then her life changed.
Right.
For the motherly aspect and stuff like that.
Right.
To kind of, I want to say, give roots to my story to begin.
Yeah.
Right? So I look at it where it's going to come back and be like, oh, whose son is that? That's Marva's son. And I'm like, that's me. And then we're like, oh, she used to do this, this, and this. Or I know her for this.
Right.
And now you're completely
different. Right.
This is a spinoff to the story.
Right.
And I feel like certain spinoffs and stuff can work. That's why I give a spinoff a chance.
Right.
So I look at back to your story thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, you were a spinoff of Mr. Chrysler's story.
Right.
What do you do from here?
Right. Exactly.
What do you do from here?
Exactly.
Do you start writing? Because at the end of the day and stuff, this is a brand new book.
Right.
The Bible, the Quran, and the Torah all intersect at the same story with Abraham, right?
Right.
And Ishmael.
Right.
The spinoffs, Torah, the Quran. This is where some things and stuff, spinoffs a slap.
Yeah.
It's up to how you're gonna write this.
And so it's about how you're gonna write it, right? And understand that you are now going to be the author.
Yes.
Right? In understanding now that you're going to be the author, right? What is the story that you're going to write, right? And then
Debbie Does Dallas.
How do you make that story translate? Because you can have the story in your mind, right? But how it translates onto paper could be a totally different thing.
Of
right?
course.
So now you got to figure out, how do you make this story translate?
Well, you got to take it out from whatever your reality is here, into making it the truth, the real reality.
Yes. But with the understanding that it's possible, because I think that's what I think that's where a lot of people get their setback, is that they don't understand or they don't feel like it's possible. But then you got to understand that it's very much so possible, because if I'm going to say that 100 years ago, right? Mr. Chrysler doesn't know me from Adam.
He did.
Right? All he knows is that he's going to have factory workers in his factory making cars, right? That's manifested in me being one of those factory workers working on making cars. And the reason, the fact that it's manifested in that way is because I have not yet started writing my story or figured out my story. If I had started writing my story before I've gotten to that section, I probably wouldn't be the factory worker in his book or in his story.
No,
it might be somebody else.
But certain things come with maturity and like character build and all that type of stuff. Because people, 100%. You don't expect. I don't really expect too many 20-year-olds to be hold themselves accountable for things.
No, and you got to go through some things to understand.
Right.
Yeah, you definitely got to go through some things to understand.
It's drastic though, but that's what I'm saying. Some people don't come to the point of understanding to probably even like beyond their 50s. right?
What's
so that's what I'm saying. You're kind of like a cut above the rest, where your self-awareness puts you to the point where you need to understand whatever you're dealing with.
Oh yeah, and certain things take time to develop, to be on. Let's say, not only understand, but let me say a level of understanding, because I wouldn't be able to get to where I am to have that thought without being a factory worker at Mr. Chrysler. Let's say that, because I was a part of somebody else's story and did not come to that realization, right? It was the comfort level that being at Mr. Chrysler allowed me to have, you know what I mean? Because I was making more money, right? I worried about less things as far as bills was concerned. And I was being able to focus on more of the stuff that I wanted to pay attention to. And it was being able to focus on more of the stuff that I was being able to pay attention to. I realized, hey, okay, I'm on my way to writing my own story, right? Now that I'm on my way of writing my own story, I can no longer be part of this story. Mr. Chrysler, I'm sorry. If I stay here, I'll still be one of those auto workers who are working on the auto cars that you developed your dream, and not being able to have time to move.
And like, don't look at, and I look at it like this. You shouldn't look at it in that as a negative way where you're continue writing on his story.
Oh, no.
I look at it as stuff where it's a point where you're more focused on your story. Albert Einstein used to work for a patent company.
Yes.
He did other remedial jobs.
Yes.
He's not known for those remedial jobs.
Right.
Because he continued writing his story and stuff to become the brilliant man that what he is.
Yes.
Where he was before he passed.
Yes.
Right? So, I mean, at the end of the day, wherever you start, when you come to a level of awareness, that's what I said, be more self-aware than self-centered. And once you're more aware, the understanding will kind of fall into place and stuff from there, because you're looking like, oh, I am here. Why am I here? I am here because I needed to pay a few bills to knock off some things to play catch up and stuff. Do I need to stay here?
Right.
Do I do not need to stay here?
Right.
And that's what I'm saying. Once that awareness kicks in, the level of understanding falls in suit after that. And now you're on better course to be in more control of your story.
Right. And then on that course now, right? You write, when you start now and you figure it out and you start writing that story now, right? You make that become the story of you, right? So now it's truly something that is what you've become known for now, or what has come to the forefront, right? You're like, let's say, you're Marv, right? One of the best podcasters, right? As opposed to you're Marv who worked for so-and-so hospital. Right? You've now gotten to the point where you're telling your story. You've told your story, right? So and that's where the statement comes from. Don't let nobody tell your story before you've told your story, because your story is the most important story of all.
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah. But everybody's gonna talk regardless. And I'm not gonna stop them.
Yeah, no.
I like to hear the nonsense. Yeah. Because the thing, and that's what I'm saying. I like the fact that I know it's not even my truth, but I know the truth.
Yeah.
Once I know the truth, because like I said, everybody lives in their own reality. So their perception of me, it'll be another thing.
It's funny.
That's it.
It's funny, the clip that you sent to the group, the group chat.
Which one?
They were like, he's the truth. And he goes, yeah, but what is the truth? The truth that you and I are in this room right now.
Like, no, are we? We're just unicorns and beings and sparkle dust. Motherfuck.
But there's an absolute truth to there should be. I mean, in the world we live today, it's hard to say that there's an absolute truth to anything. But when you break down things, there's an absolute truth to it. We're all here to serve a purpose. The number one purpose is you. Once you figure that out, then you can't help nobody else without figuring out how to help yourself first. You got to know how to help yourself first. Yeah, you got to know how to help yourself first.
All right. Longest So Say the Sons ever.
Well, sometimes we, like I said, we break it down so they can understand. We talked about that last episode about not officially understanding, so you gotta sometimes be a little bit more specific and more clear. And enjoy the bubbly.
Okay. Once again, we thank you. 200 episodes and running.
To Sondred.
For listening to the Podical Sons. Albert Einstein's greatness will still live with us. Still live with me, especially.
What is the new?
That would be the same.
That would be the same?
That would be the same.
That the closing is still the same.
Intro shorter. Yeah. Intro shorter. We get straight to the meat and potatoes. Straight to it.
The potatoes.
Because we ain't doing no Joe Rogan 2-3 day hour shit. Gang! Thanks again for listening to the Podical Sons. Remember, the difference between Jesus and stupidity is that Jesus has its limits. Peace and love, y'all. Thanks again for rocking with us. And continue to rocking with us.
Continue.
Peace.
The Podical Sons was not your average Joseph and Sofa King Marvelous.